to everybody out there.
I love how you're dressed like you're going to go to Tahoe.
It's cold as hell out there.
It is. I saw
but
a
it
lot
is
of
opening
frost on
day,
my-
and I had to bring out
God.
the Royals because, I'm going to wear a Giants hat. But this is a sign to the Giants that get a player that we all love. Get some interest in your team. But I'm disappointed in Spinotti. No green onions. None of my major league beat. It's baseball season. You just come in with a dry intro? You guys are all the baseball guys. You guys got your little cute jerseys on and jackets, and I get nothing for baseball? I'm ready to talk NBA for 4 hours if you want. We can do that.
No, I'm super excited. I was actually doing an exercise with Joey Spadoni just a second ago. Bonte.
I was listening.
Were you?
Yeah, I was, honestly.
And what part did you like the most? The Shea Langoliers breakdown of the Oakland A's?
Well, it was actually depressing to listen to the Oakland A's.
The failed trade for Matt Olson?
And you brought up Matt Olson. I was like, damn, the Braves have Matt Olson.
I know. Ozzie.
Austin Riley. Ozzie Albies.
Acuna.
We already know about Ronald Acuna Jr., my affinity
Strider.
for him. I love Ronald Acuna Jr. It's one of my best 5 favorite players in baseball
Fried
right now.
rice.
They got the 2 youngsters they brought up last year. Was it Vaughn and Harris? Harris the third. I mean, they are loaded. And I see what the Giants are presenting at Yankee Stadium, and I'm thinking to myself, how do I get myself fired up for baseball?
Well, I'll tell you. how.
No, I'm not. Well, tell me how. Good luck trying to get me there, but go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, look, it's if you can't be optimistic on the day that the entire league opens up, then you probably don't love baseball.
No,
and
that's
okay.
a lie. That's a lie. I will push back on that.
What's that?
I'll push back on that. You can love baseball and still look at your roster and be like, that's what we're trotting out on game one.
I mean, in 2010, I didn't think that they were going to win a championship with that roster, and
But you thought they'd compete, and there was young prospects that you knew Buster Posey at some point was going to be up.
Yes.
You still had Tim Lincecum. You still had Matt Cain.
Oh, yeah.
You had a young Bumgarner
Lincecum
coming
off
up.
of 2
You had Pablo
signings.
Sandoval.
Yes.
Pablo Sandoval. So you had optimism in the players that you had that you
Yeah, I
could build around. Right now, and I don't even want to go this way. I don't want to kill anybody's vibe. I really don't. But I'm looking at the roster saying, damn, I can't see Casey Smith.
I know.
Like Logan Webb, okay, that's cool. I can't even see Mitch Haniger. Your big prize, your prize free
He was
agent.
going to be out a month at
I
least.
mean,
That's the
I do
minimum-
that. I do that.
The minimum
4 to 6.
baseball absence.
Oblique injuries or no.
So you're not excited to see Logan Webb make his first start at Yankee Stadium against that lineup?
I think I might be more excited to watch Aaron Judge back against the Giants.
I can understand that. Jared Judge is one of the most marketable players in the game.
But you guys thought I was lying, and I was talking to Anna about this last night, and I'm thinking about the season, and my boy Bram for Warriors Huddle. We need to get him on the show.
I know he sent me a list of dates to go to games with him.
Yeah, and he sent me dates, and I'm like, who do I want to go see? Damn, I kind of want to go see Ronald Acuna Jr. I want to go see the Dodgers. And I'm looking at the Giants roster, and I'm like, we got nothing to wrap our arms around right now. Logan Webb, okay, great. But I'm looking at Larry Baer, and I'm reading the Chronicle, and I'm looking at Farhan Zaidi, I'm looking at Gabe Kapler, and I'm thinking to myself, how did my Giants end up like this going into the 2023 season? And Aaron Judge is going to be in pinstripes. And he's going to get in that batter's box. And I know you want him to hit. I would be careful on trying to hit him because no Giants on that roster want any smoke with Aaron Judge. Be careful.
Nobody
with that.
fights in baseball.
No, be careful with that. So I don't know, man. I'm open-minded about what the Giants can do, but it's only 1-62, and I'll tell you another reason why I'm not as optimistic as you. But go ahead.
Well, I would just say this: I understand what they are right now. Right now, they've got an entire team full of veteran stopgaps that are hopefully going to try to compete for the 7th wild card spot, right? And I know that seems like a very low bar to clear, but if one young everyday player, and Kyle Harrison put him to the side, but if one young everyday player can emerge and have a 2 or 3 week stretch where I see something, that would be a huge quantum leap forward for this organization. Bonte, can you remember the last time that a guy under 25 years old, meaning 24 and under, can you remember the last time a guy started opening day for this team?
No. I can't.
Since Barry Bonds retired. Belt in 2011 was 23 years old.
Yep.
Okay. Panic was 24. Posey was 24. This is their first opening day start.
Right.
Crawford was 24. Can you name the youngest guy to start since Barry Bonds left this team, 2007? Can you think of the youngest guy to opening day starter as a position player?
Cannot.
Pablo Sandoval, 22 years old.
That's a long
The
time
only
ago.
22-year-old.
Is that 15 years ago?
That was 2009.
14 years ago.
15 years.
15.
Essentially.
That's why I said 15.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So, again, I begged for swagger last year.
Yeah.
We got no swagger. I begged for bat flips. Maybe we'll get a couple from Jock Peterson. Now, that'd be cool to see Jock Peterson bat at Yankee Stadium. Sure, porching right. Maybe he could pull one and get the Giants on the board against Garrett Cole today for opening day. But I'm not going to lie to you. Baseball season's great, and I love baseball. Fantasy baseball starts and all that stuff, and we got our cool trophy. Matt Ashlock is actually working on a graphic for our trophy. But I'd be lying if I say if I'm not in basketball mode. The Warriors have been playing playoff games. They're now in sixth place in the Western Conference, which means they're on a collision course to play the Sacramento Kings in the first round. I watched Minnesota and Phoenix last night. That was playoff basketball.
Yeah.
Watching Karl Anthony Towns pop off for threes, Naz Reid doing his thing, Devin Booker doing his thing. That was playoff basketball. Watching the Kings and Kings fans cry for clinching a playoff berth
was cool.
for the first time in 17 years. I'm thinking to myself, man, basketball's hopping right now. The Lakers going to Chicago. They got a big one on Friday against the T-Wolves. And Austin Reeves doing it too small to Pat Bev.
Yeah.
I was like, this is great. This is awesome. And then we go to the Giants. And what transpired last offseason. How can any Giant fan, again, I'm going to go to you for this because you're optimistic and you love your team. I love the Giants as well. But after that offseason, it took everything out of me. Honestly, the failed Aaron Judge recruitment, the failed physical with Carlos Correa, and how that all transpired. The answers that we didn't get right away. The signings that they had with Mitch Henniger, knowing that he's got an injury history and he's already starting the season hurt. He's already starting the season on the IL.
Who would have predicted?
Austin
let
Slater.
Carlos Rodon walk.
You let Carlos Rodon walk.
Even if he has an arm injury.
You don't even make an offer for him.
I know.
An offer. And then everybody's telling me, all the experts, and I love Fleming. I love Pabst, and I'm going to wait this out. The deepest rotation we've seen in years with the Giants. I'm saying Ross Stripling, really? That makes your rotation deep. Sean Manaea makes your rotation deep. Anthony DeSclafani makes your rotation deep. And it is hard to focus on what the Giants aren't. It really is. I want to be optimistic about something.
Well,
you haven't given me one reason to be optimistic.
Camilo Duvall. I think Camilo Duvall is emerging as a potential 40 close guy every year. I mean, that's what he's looking at. If he can just figure out how to throw strikes consistently with that heater. Bonta, he's got a weapon that very few guys have. I mean, he throws 101 effortlessly. I mean, the guy could throw 103, 104.
So it's a closer that we may see 70 times a year.
Well, it started there for Brian Wilson in 2008, 2009, right? And then eventually you brought up Pablo Sandoval, and he had a monster year in 2009, and you felt really optimistic. And obviously you had the elite pitching of Tim Lincecum and Matt Cain and Johnny Sanchez starting to emerge. There was a variety of things, but most people did not think the 2008 version of the Giants was 2 years away from winning the World Series and going through their most dynastic run ever.
But again, you had the youngsters. You had the youngsters to glob on to. That's all I want. That's all I want.
Well, they are set to, if Jock Peterson plays left field today, they are set to break a record. Did you know that?
What's that?
Well, they have had 16 different players play left field
since Barry Bonds retired.
At opening day. And if you just look at the history, most consecutive days, opening days, starting a different player with no repeaters whatsoever at any position in the history of baseball. The 1937 Browns for 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Then you have the Padres in 2005 to 2011. They also did left field. The Giants, 2007 to 2023. The Phillies and the Reds. And these are going back to the 30s, those other ones.
That's wild.
So listen to these 16 names, Bonta. Maybe you can name some of
Here,
them.
let me guess. Let me go.
Okay, so Bonds, 06, 07 consecutively played left field.
Read the names. I want to hear this.
Okay.
Cody Ross is one of them, right?
Dave Roberts.
Yep.
Fred Lewis, I'm trying to go yard. The manager of the United States team, Mark DeRosa. How about Bellarmine's own, Pat Burrell? Who could have forgotten former 95.7 The Game morning host, Aubrey Huff? Andres Torres. My favorite, the guy who looks like X-Pac, Michael Morris. Here's a couple that no one will get. Nori Aoki, Angel Pagan, You'll never get this one. Remember Jared Parker?
I do remember Jared Parker.
Hunter
He had three,
Pence.
Jared Parker hit 3 home runs at the Coliseum against the
you.
Oakland A's late in the year.
Look at you, 28-year-old left fielder starting. Hunter Pence, Connor Joe, Philly cheesesteaks, Alex Dickerson, Austin Slates, and Jock Peterson. So if Jock Peterson
Slates
starts,
doesn't deserve that. He doesn't deserve any Slates. Guy's hurt again. Like, he's Austin Slater. Like, you see what I'm saying? And I'm with, and so I think we need to be fair to everybody here. I think we need to be fair to Joe Shasky today for being optimistic and Sam Lubman for being optimistic about the Giants. We need to be fair to them. But we also need to be fair to me and the 209 on the Comcast Business Text line. 209, I'm with you, Bonte. My wife and I were talking last night about how excited we were and looking forward to opening day and how we go to lengths to find tickets. And now it's just a big old meh. We will still watch, but it's just another day. So you can't fault us for feeling like that after that offseason and where the Giants are at and the plan of Farhan Zaidi. This is year 5 of Farhan Zaidi. And we still don't know the direction of the club. We got a bunch of guys who are on 1 or 2 year contracts with player options littered across the roster.
Here's the direction of the club. The club is waiting for some of these younger players to come in, and in the interim,
We've been waiting for 5 years.
I agree, but in the interim, they're going to try to win with some random talent. Did you know that Brandon Crawford is starting his 12th consecutive
That's pretty
opening
cool.
day?
That's pretty cool.
The ties Barry Bonds.
Yeah, that's
And do you
pretty
know
cool.
who the most consecutive opening day starts in Giants history is?
Who's that?
Willie Mays, 15.
It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. That
That's good for
puts
Crawford.
Brandon Crawford in some pretty elite company.
I mean, he's not Barry Bonds or Willie Mays, but that's pretty cool that he's played
He
12
is the-
opening days.
He is the greatest defensive shortstop the Giants have ever had.
That's fine. That's fine. Let's go to Sergio Fairfield. Sergio, what's happening? How optimistic are you about opening day?
Hey, how you doing?
What's up, Sergio?
Hey, so I just got a comment to make. I'm morally, I like you guys. Both of you are cool. You know, I listened to you when you were with Greg Papa. That was a good conversation. But I'm more leaning towards Shasky. Like, Bonte? Can I ask you a question? Why are you so not optimistic? You're a pessimist about the Giants. If you're raised in this city and you supposedly love them so much, why are you like hater on the Giants season? I don't understand.
Because I live in reality, and the reality is none of the youngsters that we've been promised to see are up on the big league roster. You got a bunch of guys that you signed in 1 to 2 year. Oh, we should have kept Sergio on 1 to 2 year deals, and they've got a bunch of old guys on his team, old unathletic players on his team. Like Yastrzemski. Is Yastrzemski starting today? Yeah, starting.
I don't know who's going to be the center field starter. I want to see
Because
Bryce Johnson.
they're missing 3 outfilders already.
I know. Well, I would argue that 2 of those outfielders aren't everyday players. Mitch Haniger's an everyday player. I don't think the other guys are. Like Luis Gonzalez isn't a big leaguer, So
Right.
You're asking me like, what am I optimistic? I'm here to see if Joey Bart can sink or swim as a catcher.
We just discussed this yesterday. Sure, there's been no buzz with Joey Bart.
Well, here's the buzz.
That's disappointing.
It's a make or break year for him. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I guess so.
Because Patrick Bailey is coming through the system and apparently looking fantastic. And Alex Pavlovich, who you work with at NBC, is saying that he's one of the under the radar high flyers in their organization.
So, like, I was driving in thinking about this. Like Angel fans, right? They may not win a damn thing this year,
yeah,
but at least they know we've got Shohei for another year and Mike Trout.
yeah.
Seattle, they may win 80+
They
games
got
or
the most
whatnot.
exciting young player in the game.
Julio Rodriguez,
Yeah, of course.
Luis Castillo starting at pitcher. He's one of your aces. He's okay.
He's not an ace. He's a number 1 starter, but not an ace.
He
But
may be a 2 or 3.
Yes,
but
yes.
he could be
There's
a
only
number 1.
so many aces. Sorry,
there's
it's just
no doubt.
It's a word.
The
that bugs
Mets, even the Rangers with Jacob DeGrom
Well, the
on
Mets
the
have a
bump
$400
today.
million payroll.
But the Giants could have that. There's no excuse. And they tried to spend money this year. I want to give the Giants credit for that. They tried to spend money. Just when you look at the roster, I get why players are saying, I don't want to mess with that roster, which is sad that Aaron Judge pimped the hell out the Giants and the Yalls. And that's the thing today. I watch Aaron Judge, number 99, go into that batter's box. And I'm going to be reminded over and over how he used the Giants and never even considered signing with them.
Well,
It's like, yeah, your roster's not good enough. I know I'm going back to New York City, but thanks, but no, I have to honor you because you're the hometown team.
Not only do they have Aaron Judge, even though he's on the DL, they've got Carlos Rodon, and they've got a 21-year-old shortstop who flew through their ranks. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, like, man, like, it's just frustrating that our guys aren't here. I mean, like Casey Schmidt. is 3 years
Yeah.
older than Volpe, and he's not even up. You know,
Yeah.
and it's like, what's going on here? Like, I keep going back to the same thing, B. The core of what made them great. Yes, pitching was, there's no doubt about it. Pitching was extremely important. But think about these names that I'm telling you of their young, under 25 opening day starters. Belt, Panic, Posey, Sandoval. I'd even throw Matt Duffy in there. Crawford. Like, those are six guys in a 7-year span that were 24 or
Right.
under and made their MLB debut on opening day, or excuse me, started on opening day under the age of 25.
Right.
Like, that's, yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow. That being said, I think that they can compete for that 7th and 6th wild card spot.
Yeah, that'd be cool. It'd be cool to get some playoff baseball. I'm not gonna lie, and maybe they have 100. Like, they should compete. Like, here's the deal: we shouldn't be surprised if they don't compete. They should compete when you look at their payroll. They have a top 10 payroll.
I know.
They have a top 10 payroll in baseball.
It sure doesn't feel like it based off like
So-
name recognition.
So
value.
if they don't compete, that would be an utter embarrassment when you consider the payroll. They put in $173 million on this baseball roster.
Well, they're not going to fall. I don't think they're going to just bottom out. Like, they're not a team that's going to lose 100 games. That's for sure.
won't do
And then
that.
you got someone like Logan Webb on the mound today. Logan Webb, I'm surprised they haven't extended, and I think that there's got to be some sort of a reason. I feel like this is a big year for Logan Webb as well.
26 years old, young. They're trying to make him the face of the Giants. You see him on the side at Oracle
Yeah.
Park. He's on Twitter. He's active.
He's a local
I've
guy,
seen him a lot at
916.
Oyer games.
He's a big Kings fan, big
Kings
Raiders fan.
He's talking. He's talking about those Kings. By the way, again, and that's why I'm looking at all the stories of sports. At opening day does mean something. It does, no doubt. But they're all the way in New York City playing in the Bronx. There's no Casey Schmidt. We'll see if Joey Bart starts. We got a guy named Blake Sable nobody knows about that tore it up in spring
Yeah,
trading.
a Rule 5 guy.
A Rule 5 guy. I'm eager to see him. Yastrzemski is already 32 and a half years old. Do we have to see him again? Lamont Wade Jr., we'll see if he can bounce back from a rough 2022 season. Thairo Estrada had a decent year last year. Some people will say great. Some people will say good. It was cool. It was all right. Jock Peterson, Michael Conforto, who can't stay healthy. I just, again, baseball's back, and I'm loving that. I do love the fact that baseball back. It is gives me another option on TV. But when I look at the Giants and what we were told this offseason, and this is what they trotted out after everything last year, the way it bottomed out last year and the way the offseason played out, and here is the reality. Here is the team. And we've got to be optimistic about that. We've got to fake optimism.
What if they go 18-9 in the first month of the season?
Well, great.
Would that change your point of view?
No, I'm open-minded about this team. I'm going to take it day by day.
Okay.
Day by day, and I'm going to watch, and I'm going to assess, and I'll root for the team. I'll root for them to have success. But I sit here on opening day, and I'm saying, damn, I don't have one young guy I could just get excited about.
Not necessarily, but I do think Michael Conforto is a nice acquisition. I know when he's healthy, the guy can hit, and he's a really good defensive outfielder on a team that doesn't have a lot of great defense. You know, I look at someone like David Villar, and he's a young player. He's 25 years old right now. He's someone that flew through your ranks. I'm optimistic to see him. Is he a guy that can stick? Is he a guy that can stay? I didn't think highly of Matt Duffy through the system. When he came up, he popped for the team. Now, he was an afterthought in terms of the lineup. He wasn't someone that was going to set the table. But, you know, can David Villar be a guy in the 6 hole, in the 7 hole, who can produce? Can he hit 20-plus home runs? Can he bat over 265? Can he play defense at third base? Can he be a stopgap at second base when Estrada's over at short?
I guess one of the questions of the day is, what can the Giants do to surprise you this year? At 888-957-9570, what can the Giants do to surprise you this year? Again, it goes back to the conversation again that we had last week. This was the Niners. This was the Warriors. We'd be crushing their ass. But for some reason, we give our baseball team the benefit of the doubt every single year.
Is it the 3 World Series? Have they already worn off?
The Warriors just won a world championship last year. We don't give them the benefit of the doubt.
Well, because they're still like competing in the mix. Like if it bottomed out for a couple years, because that's what happened with the Giants. Like you got to admit that
The Warriors
sports
bottomed
to a
out
degree
for-
can be cyclical.
But the Warriors bottomed out, and they were right back in the hunt.
No, I agree with that. But they still have their prime guys. Like
Right.
you lost Buster Posey. He walked away. Buster Posey, maybe not on the level of Steph Curry. I mean, he's one of the most influential Giants of all time. You lost maybe the smartest player in baseball, who had the deepest Rolodex of all the different lineups that he was going up against. One of the greatest defensive catchers of his era, hands down. It's him and Yadier Molina. Like, and then you lost your 3 and 4 hitter essentially in the same offseason. Like, that's brutal.
This lineup looks brutal right now that I'm looking at. I'm sorry, man. Listen, what makes the roast is we keep it real. We say what's on our mind. We say how we feel. And how I feel right now is I've got a baseball team that looks exactly the same as last year.